Okay, let's make sure everything's going all right as far as audio and everything. Okay, let's make sure. All right, audio is good and we're ready to go. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Malin. Welcome to a brand new series of live streams. I got a new Madden rebuild. I know it's been a long time since I've done stuff with Madden. It's probably been maybe a month or two, but decided to start up a new rebuild with the Miami Dolphins. And I know some of y'all may be kind of asking me, well, do the Miami Dolphins really need a rebuild? Based on how the season ended in real life for Miami, and I'm not a Dolphins fan by any stretch, but seeing them lose the way they did to the New York Jets, and of course they didn't have Tua Tagovailoa, in real life his career may be in jeopardy because of the too many concussions that he has had. Tyreek Hill changed his profile picture to the Antonio Brown giving the peace sign that he did at the end of his NFL career with the Buccaneers. Things are not really good in Miami. And I thought about it for a little bit. And you know me, I told y'all that when all the Madden 25 live streaming started with rebuilds and things like that, I didn't want to repeat teams that I did in Madden 24 because I got a lot of mileage out of Madden 24 in terms of teams that I rebuild through the draft and got used to the process and everything. But I want to rebuild teams that I haven't rebuilt before. And even though the Miami Dolphins, as of this particular startup, were a playoff team in 2023, even though they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, this team could still use a makeover in certain ways. Let's go ahead and take a look at the roster and see. First of all, I want to check the injury report to see who's hurt, and we won't be able to access this whole season. So let's see. We've got some guys. We got an 80 overall. Okay, Bradley Chubb. We're not going to be able to use him this season. He's an 80 overall. Not really any other. Well, Jalen Phillips tore his ACL, so he's not going to be able to be used. I don't know if that's a real life injury or not, or if he's still rehabbing. Not a whole lot of top end players. So fortunately, it looks like the Tagovailoa wasn't added to the injury report based on the roster that's online. So I will be able to use Tua for the 2024 season. Hopefully, he doesn't get hurt. 82 overall quarterback. And, is Tua the guy? Maybe. But if there's, a slip up, I'm not afraid to look at the future beyond him. And I do have Tyler Huntley as the backup quarterback in case Tua gets hurt. Running back room, a chain. I actually don't know how to pronounce his name. I know it if I see it. And we got Mostert. Our running back room is actually not really that bad. And we have Jeff Wilson Jr. as well, Jalen Wright. So the running back room is not that bad, but it's also not really anything elite, if you know what I mean. We got a 74 fullback, and of course, we got the cheetah. You got the speed demon, Tyreek Hill. He's got to be the highest overall player we have on the team. Yes, he is. He's our highest rated overall player along with Jalen Ramsey. So Hill and Ramsey are our top players on offense and defense. With Tyreek Hill being here, this is a guy that I want to build this offense around. And I know that, you don't really build an offense around a receiver, but 97 overall Tyreek Hill, even though he's got some mileage on him, I mean, he could still be putting in a couple of good more years in the NFL before he hits maybe the 10-year plateau in terms of experience. But we also have Jalen Waddle, another pretty good receiver, 85 overall right now. Braxton Berrios is hurt for the year, so we can't use him, 74 overall. Eskridge, 71. We got Craycraft, who's a 70. And we got, Eric Ezukama down here at the bottom, Texas Tech guy. I like him, so I might keep him around, but I'll see. I don't know how many years he has left on his deal. I'll take a look at that later. But receiver room, in addition to Hill and Waddle, we could use another guy probably in the 80s to really solidify this receiving core. Jonnu Smith, who actually was on my fantasy football team this year, as a random fact, 80 overall. Decent tight end, but we need some help there. Durham Smythe is a 71, and Stoll, not really too much behind Smith in terms of anything good. Terran Armstead, though, is a pretty good offensive lineman, 92 overall. We got a 75 left guard in Wynn, 76 center, 67 right guard, and a 74 Austin Jackson, who's actually hurt, as well as Lamb. So our top guy is Braden Daniels. So we got some work to do as far as the offensive line is concerned. And I think I may have to go out and sign a free agent if we have two of our right tackles injured. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. But we could use some help at right tackle, even if Austin Jackson was healthy. I still want to get guys in the 80s to protect Tua. Slate Sealer, 80 overall left end. I don't really know too much about this guy, to be honest, but 80 overall is not too bad to start out with. Deshaun Hand is 71. Calais Campbell, 16 years in the NFL, probably going to retire at the end of the season if I would have to guess. 81 overall, and a 63 Matt Dickerson is backing him up. So right in, definitely a position that needs to get upgraded. And we only have one defensive tackle in Benito Jones. So I'm going to probably sign two more defensive tackles to make this roster a bit full. With Jalen Phillips not playing this season, Emmanuel Agbaya, 76 overall. I feel like he used to play for Cleveland, maybe. I could be wrong about that. 76 left outside linebacker. We got Bell, who's a 65, and we got all guys in the 60s beyond him. Jordan Brooks, though, is, I think, another key figure on this defense that I think I want to build it around. Not just because he's a Texas Tech guy, but he is an 80 overall. And he's probably just coming into his own in terms of a good middle linebacker. Dodson, 76, 75, Anthony Walker Jr. So we've got some good linebackers. Bradley Chubb, hopefully he'll be able to come back next season. Until then, we're going to have Chop Robinson, who's a rookie out of Penn State that they drafted, 76 overall. And we have Bowser, who's hurt, but he'll be hopefully back next season. Cornerback-wise, Mr. You can call him cocky if you want, but despite how Jalen Ramsey's career has progressed in the NFL, he is still one of the top corners in the National Football League. 95 overall corner, still 29 years old. Maybe he'll start to slow down a little bit when he gets to about the 10-year mark of his career, but for now, Jalen Ramsey is definitely a guy to build this secondary around. Kendall Fuller, former Washington Commander, 87 overall. We got a 77, Kadir Kahu. So we could use another corner in the future that's probably in the 80s to help out these guys. Javon Holland is a pretty solid safety at 83 overall. Strong safety is Jordan Poyer, the former Buffalo Bill, who's still a steady hand, even though he's been in the league for 11 years. He is getting up there in age. Don't know how much longer he'll play. Kicker is Jason Sanders, 77. We got a 76 punter in Jake Bailey. So overall, offensive line could use some upgrade. And honestly, I'm going to go out in free agency and get some help for our defensive line as well, because we're going to need some of that. We need some help at right tackle for sure, because we only have one guy, and I'm going to actually go ahead and sign Riley Reef to be our right tackle to help us out this season, because we lost some guys. Defensive tackle-wise, we only had one on the roster. So I'm going to see, is there anybody that kind of fits our scheme, who's a scheme fit guy? Not really. Okay, so I'm going to sign Lawrence Guy Sr. as a backup defensive tackle for us, so that way our roster is a little bit more full, and we're not having to, scrape by with just players that are in the 60s. So we signed Riley Reef. So we're going to go ahead and put him as our starting right tackle. We're going to, of course, have Daniels backing him up. So left end wise, we got Calais Campbell. Defensive tackle, we only had two on the roster, but Lawrence Guy Sr., automatically shoots it up. He's a 13-year vet, so that kind of leaves a little bit to be desired. Linebacker wise, I think I'm pretty good there. Corner wise, I think it's okay. Let me go to the offensive line again. I'm going to take another look at that. So we got Armstead, we got Wynn, Brewer. We only have one right guard on the whole roster? Yeah, we do. Okay, all right. I didn't realize we only had one right guard that was available. Still, I think Aikenberg is going to start. But let me go out and see if there's a 70 overall guy in the 70s who's a right guard we can use this season. Just for this season. These are all stopgap guys, and I just want them here to help with the depth a little bit. Michael Schofield actually fits our scheme. So I'm going to sign him to a one-year deal to help us out for this season, give us some depth there because we've got injuries already to start out right off the bat. And let me take a look at the depth chart now and see how that looks. Fine-tuning all this before the preseason just to make sure. So Schofield automatically becomes our best starting right guard at 71 overall. We got Aikenberg, who's a 67. So that helps out a little bit. We at least have guys in the 70s to help with Tua a little bit. Well, we only have one backup quarterback on the roster in Hundley. So let me go out and sign another quarterback. Just look for somebody maybe in the 60s to help out. They're all in the 60s. Okay. I'm going to bring in Skylar Thompson used to be here. I'm going to bring in the veteran Brian Hoyer as our third-string quarterback this season. Just give us a little bit of help. AFC East connection used to be with the Patriots for a while, so I think that'll suit us okay. So Hoyer is going to be third string. We're have Hundley still as the backup. Tagovailoa, of course, is our starter. So that's our. So those are a couple little roster changes I made to give us some depth in certain places to help us out a little bit. So hopefully that'll help us out. And a lot of the guys that we signed are aging guys. They may only be here for 1 year and then they're gone. So we'll see how things kind of phase out. So let's get started with the preseason. Let's go ahead and get through this. We'll get to cut down day. We'll get the 53-man roster settled. We'll get ready to go through year one. And we lost our first preseason game to the Falcons. We play Washington this week, and we lost to them as well. So we're 0-2 in the preseason. And we play the Bucs to wrap it up. And we went 1-2. Okay, so we did win a game in the preseason. As far as Coach McDaniel, he is one of the best young coaches in the league in terms of. And here's in Miami, always I feel like is on the verge of playoff success, but then something just happens. They get an injury to Tua, or they get injuries all over. They get some more of that. So yeah, so I'm still keeping Dan McDaniel as the guy. His tree is not really developed very much. So probably, hopefully he can get some more attributes and we can upgrade him a little bit. So that way we can, think about keeping him as our coach. So we got to cut 6 players. Obviously that's not a whole lot to deal with, but it is a pretty decent chunk to deal with. That'll incur a penalty, so I don't want to do that. Let's move Jalen Wright to the practice squad. We'll keep 3 running backs active. Wide receiver wise, I'm gonna cut Craycraft. Tight end wise, I'm just going kind of position by position right now at this point. Jake McQuaid, is he our long snapper? He probably still is. I remember him with Dallas, I think, last year. I'm going to cut Stoll. I don't really see a reason to keep him around. Left tackle wise, Jackson Carman. I'm going to cut him. Left guard. We have 2 active there. We got 2 right guards active, so I don't want to cut anybody. Defensive ends. We only have 2 active at both positions. We only have 2 defensive tackles. Linebacker-wise, Good, I'm just moving him to the practice squad. I'm not going to cut him. Middle linebackers. We've got a bunch of them, actually. Let's move Tyndale to the practice squad. Okay, and that's what we're doing. All right. So let's go ahead and simulate to the regular season, and let's see how we're doing for the first half. Oh, yeah, we got to choose our draft class. Poor local file. 2025 draft. Make sure these are all. Yep, we got Milrow, we got Sanders, Mikael Williams, Travis Hunter. Yep, this is the accurate class. Perfect. Just wanted to make sure the draft class was accurate and everything before I go ahead and proceed. All right, so we've got the Jaguars to begin our regular season at home. All right, so let's go ahead and simulate to the middle of the season, see where this Dolphins team is at. Hopefully we're a little bit above, hovering over 500. Hopefully things aren't, too bad for us in the first year. I expected in the first year we actually may be on the verge of making the playoffs, but maybe not quite there yet, kind of like the Dolphins are in real life. We just need to get a couple more good players to take that next step. All right, well, we're 3-3, which isn't that bad. Let's go ahead and do the Scouting National Focus. Let's see kind of where we are in terms of the standings. So in the AFC East, we are second behind the Jets, who are 4-3. So they're doing better than they have been in real life. Aaron Rodgers must be playing pretty well right now. So right now we're seventh in the AFC East. We're playing the 0-7 Cardinals this week, so hopefully this is a win. But let's go ahead and get to negotiating. And oh my word, we got negative cap space. Oh my goodness. Well, that's very discouraging. Okay. Well, can I get some cap back or something at this point? Can I manage? Can I go to team salaries and like restructure contracts yet? No, not Tyreek's. Tyreek's making a lot of money. How about Ramsey? Can I restructure their contracts? I guess I can't do it because we're in the middle of the season. So, wow. Unfortunately, looks like that we can't do anything as far as negotiations. Who are the top guys that we need to think about retaining? Okay, well, Holland is a pretty good free safety, but gosh, we're gonna have to let like everybody walk. We can't afford to keep anybody. Can't do anything. Well, we'll come back to this and see what we can do. Let's go ahead and simulate through this game, see if we beat the Cardinals. Hopefully we don't give them their first win. And we lost to the Cardinals, and we gave them their first win. We lost 17-9. Wow. Okay, that's not good. Let me check the injury report and see if we have anybody new on this list. Looks like we. Okay, well, Schofield is out only with an ACL sprain. We do have a lot of injuries already carried over, so I'm not surprised that we could be a struggling team in year one of this franchise. Well, we got to play the Bills this week, who are actually 3-5. They're having a struggle season of their own, but we just lost to probably the worst team in the NFL. We come back and beat the Bills, so that's good. Got to answer a media question, probably. It's been an up and down. This team needs to focus on the next game and move forward. That's what I'm going to go with. Because I don't know if we'll be a playoff team in this first year. I thought maybe we'd have a chance to do that, but if we're hovering around 500 based on the standings, I don't know how much of a great chance we have. Although this division does not have a clear front runner. Patriots are 5-4. We're 4-4. Jets are 4-5. Bills are now 3-6, and we beat them. So maybe there's a chance. Playing another 3-5 team, the Rams, and we lose to the Rams. So now we're back under 500 again, and we are now back to third place in our division, which means that we're definitely probably not in the playoff hunt. And we have a new injury. Who's hurt? Who's significant? Armstead is out for 6 weeks with a dislocated elbow. Oh, another good player injured. Who else is hurt? Jordan Brooks is out for 1 week with a hip pointer. That's not good. But Armstead being out, that's not pleasant. Did this go down? No, it didn't. It's still minus $4.3 million. How is it that way? Is Tyreek Hill's contract and Jalen Ramsey's contracts like a death wish or something? Like, how do we start this franchise and we're in the negative cap space for trying to negotiate with any players moving forward for 2025? And then again, I've seen this in other franchises that I've done before, but it seems like every team, when you start out the franchise in year one, and this is in other Maddens too, previous Maddens, you start in like the negative or you barely have any cap money to spend. So it's like, what am I supposed to do? But we'll see. I don't know. But we can restructure contracts, I think, when the offseason begins. So maybe when we do that, we can get opportunities to get free agents in here, and actually build a team. We'll see. Anyway, back to football. We're playing another 4-5 team, the Raiders, this week. They're doing better than they have been in real life, and we lose to the Raiders. So we're definitely a team that's kind of just treading water a little bit, you could say. Definitely looking like a team that won't be in the playoffs. We're just an average team right now. At least we're playing like it. I mean, yes, we have a lot of injuries, but still, there's talent to win games. And now we lose to the Patriots, so now we're 4-7. We're tied for third with the Bills, basically for the basement for the division. And we're playing the 9-2 Green Bay Packers this week. They're looking pretty good. So that's what we're looking like. Lost to the Packers, of course. Now we got another divisional game against the Jets. I want to take a look at some statistics if I can. Is Tua struggling this season? He's thrown for 2,300 yards. He only has 10 touchdowns to 9 interceptions at this point. You have 7 rushing touchdowns from Kane, 600, not even at 700 yards. Tyreek Hill has 6 touchdowns, 875 yards. He's probably going to get to 1,000 yards, but yeah, Waddle is 300 yards behind him, so our offense really is just centered around Tyreek Hill more than anything. How do Tua's numbers compare with the rest of the NFL? Let me take a look here. Because right now, those stats to me indicate that he's a pretty average quarterback. So as far as passing yards, so many guys are way ahead of him. Tua is actually towards the bottom in passing yards. And touchdowns too, it's even lower. He's only thrown 10 touchdowns. That's the lowest in the NFL. Like, seriously, I'm looking at this. Will Levis has thrown 11 to 14 interceptions, but Tua's thrown 10 touchdowns. Tyler Huntley's thrown one because he had to probably come in, so O'Connell, Dobbs, and Locke. But those guys probably all had to come in for like a couple of snaps and play. So I guess Tua actually has been banged up at least a little bit this season based on the fact that Tyler Huntley has thrown a touchdown pass. So I don't know. I mean, he's an 82 overall, which is not a bad starting point for a franchise quarterback. But to be 4-8 and to have Tyreek Hill basically be our entire offense with an average below average quarterback doesn't really sit well in terms of for the future of this team. Now we're playing the Jets this week, who are first in the division. And, of course, we lost to them. We're going to lose. How many games in a row have we lost? I'm going to have to go and count. Armstead's still out for 2 weeks. Mostert is out for 3 weeks. So, once again, more injuries are piling up. Holland is out for a week. So, Brooks has been back playing. So, how many games in a row have we lost? Like, I feel like we've lost, 7 in a row. All right, so we beat, in week 9, we beat the Bills 20-14. Since then, we've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row. And since week 7, we're 1 and 7. We're not really scoring a whole lot of points. We kind of are in some games. Like in the Jets game, we scored 24, which isn't bad, but it's definitely not great. And I guess the defense is having struggles of their own. But, well, needless to say, this definitely seems like I'm glad I actually picked this team to do a rebuild, because I think they do need a bit of a rebuild. And maybe not a bit of a rebuild. It may need a big rebuild. And we may need to start with a different quarterback and a new running back and all that. Get some real talent for this team to go alongside Tyreek Hill. We'll see. Playing the Texans this week, they're 9-4. I don't expect an upset here. We only have a few games left in the season. And we lost to the Texans by 7. So it looks like for some of these games, we're in them, like competitive, but we're just not making enough plays to win in the end. And we are at the bottom of the AFC East. Well, I guess it's appropriate for a rebuild to start at the bottom and try to work your way on up. So that's what we're doing right now with this rebuild. Let me go to the negotiating window and see if no, there's no change in the salary cap. So we're just gonna have to wait to do any, stuff in the off season when I can actually restructure contracts. The 49ers are 10-4. Well, we'll just keep going. We lost pretty bad to the 49ers. I think we've lost now 7 games in a row. Pretty sure it's 7 in a row now. We got 2 more games left. The Cleveland Browns are 2-13. This could be our first win in over a month, but we'll see. Hopefully we can get maybe 2 wins back-to-back to end the year, close out the year strong, and we find a way to finally win a game. Finally, after a huge losing streak, we beat the Browns 29-14. Statistically, let me see kind of how things are looking for us. So Tua has gotten over the 3,000-yard plateau, but he has 13 interceptions. That's not a lot of touchdowns. Over 700 yards now for a Kane, 11 touchdowns. That's not bad. Tyreek Hill, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. He's basically our entire offense. Malik Washington is the second leader in receiver with 4 touchdowns. I think he's set to be a free agent this year, but we may not be able to bring him back. Jordan Brooks is our top defensive player right now, which is good. So, Tua's numbers compared to the rest of the NFL, to the rest of the league, just not great. I mean, he's still he's not exactly towards the bottom like he was at the beginning of the season, but he's average to below average in terms of statistics. And the 13 touchdowns and 13 interceptions doesn't really give me a good sense that, he's had a good season. Well, we have one more game left. Let's take a look at the playoff picture here. The Jets, the Jets are in the playoff picture. They're leading the division. The Patriots are also in position to make the playoffs. I don't know how in our division. So if we beat the Jets, Patriots maybe have a chance to leapfrog them and take the division, but I don't know about that. So we've got the Chiefs and the Patriots. We got the Steelers have the number 1 seed. They have the best team in the AFC. Got the Texans and the Chargers and the Jets and the Ravens. NFC, Washington and Minnesota, San Francisco and Philadelphia, and Carolina and Detroit, and Green Bay has the number 1 seed. Then again, we played them on Thanksgiving night, so we saw what they did against us, and it wasn't pretty. So we're getting ready to play our last game of the regular season against the Jets. So let's go out there, see if we can play spoiler, beat the Jets, and end our season on a high note. We're like 5-10 right now. See if we can go 6-10.
18 of the National Football League. And up next, we'll see the veteran Jonnu Smith. He's going to be a busy man in the passing game.
Or 5-11 we might be, actually. I don't know what our record is.
On Sunday night.
But we've had a pretty bad season. It's worse than I thought we were going to have this first season, to be honest with y'all. But I'm not too overly surprised. And look, it's snowing in New York. Well, the old adage and the old saying is with the Miami Dolphins, like they were in the playoffs last year, they can't win in the cold when it's snowing. So hopefully we can come New York and we can kind of prove that stereotype wrong. We can beat Aaron Rodgers and the Jets in, of course, what could be Rodgers' last game. Let's see what we can do. And we actually are playing on Sunday night, so it's a primetime game, even though yesterday, of course, this game was like in the late afternoon slot on Fox. So here we go. And we actually get a touchdown right off the bat. So here we are on defense, matching up against Aaron Rodgers.
On third down, Rodgers.
Good tackle right there. That was third down. Now it's fourth down. Got him off the field. Yeah, we're 5-11, so we win this game. We'll get our 6th win of the season. And it looks like they're going to go for it on fourth down. There's 2 minutes left. Then again, Jets are fighting for probably, the division title. Oh, get Rodgers. There we go. Great sack defense. Let's go. Way to get off the field. Ball right back to our offense. At 3rd and 8. There's Tyreek. Where are you, Hill? There you are, buddy. I'm also excited to, do this franchise because I get to center it around Tyreek Hill, who's one of the best in the game. There we go. Tyreek Hill, first down. Just throw it to number 10, and he'll make something happen. I'm not afraid to run it a little bit. Kane. The running back sweep. Oh, it's wide open. Touchdown, Dolphins. Let's go. Up 14-0 on the Jets. I mean, there's no tomorrow for us. There is for them. So we're going to go out here and play hard. 4th down. 4th and 3 on the goal line. They got a chance to score here. And we get the stop on the goal line. They don't get in. Dotson again. He had the stop on 4th down earlier. He gets another one down by the goal line. That was beautiful. So 1st down for the offense. We're gonna go 2 minutes here.
Here's 1st and 10.
Just out of reach of Washington. He ran a pretty good route there, but just couldn't put that ball accurately. All right, we have all 2 timeouts left. 1:18 left. Come on, Tyreek. Deep pass. Got it. A little quick thing here. Tyreek Hill deep again. Thought I could hit him 2 times in a row, but couldn't quite get him. Still, it's incomplete, but stops the clock.
I'm surprised that one wasn't completed. It seems like that's the first miss of the game. Continue to push the ball downfield. Continue to build.
Tyreek, touchdown. Oh, beautiful. The cheetah's loose. Let's go, Tyreek. Great touchdown to end the half. We're up 21-0 on the Jets. Well, they scored a touchdown in the 3rd quarter to make the game closer. It's about the end of the 3rd quarter. We're playing very good football right now. It's 3rd and 10, though. Come on, Waddle. On the outside. Did he haul it in? Yes, he did. 1st down, Dolphins. Let's go. All right.
A couple of big plays, one after the other, and now it's
ball at
1st and goal.
The 8-yard line.
Here's Achane.
Achane.
Down to the 4. It'll be
so that's 8 minutes. Thank you, Mike Terry. It's about to be the end of the 3rd quarter. I'm gonna wait to run a play when we get to the 4th. All right, well, going to the 4th quarter, last quarter of our season, the offense played really well today. We're up 21-7 going to the 4th quarter on the Jets. Running game has been helping us out. Defense made stops on 4th down to really put us in great position to win. Tyreek Hill, big, long touchdown. So now we just got to finish it. Got the ball at the 4-yard line. Let's see if we can punch this in on the ground.
One more time, it's Achane.
And Achane can't really get much on that play. 13 carries, 64 yards. That's what it is.
Even though it brings up 3rd down, it still keeps this offense in what they call.
You know what? I'm going to take a risk and run it again. I just feel like, we're too close and trying to pass here. I don't think it's worth it. Golden goal. Come on. Achane powers through for his 2nd touchdown. Let's go. And that'll make it very tough on the Jets. All right. We got a pretty good 3-touchdown lead here in the 4th quarter. Chance to kind of ice this one. Achane can't really get away from them.
It's 2nd down.
Ready to kind of just ice the game here.
Once again, it's Achane.
And Achane powers down to the 5-yard line. Great play.
As it is, gain of 6.
74 yards, 2 touchdowns for him today. A great game.
Coaches all the time, Mike, right? Finish strong, and he's doing just that. His numbers here in this one, they have been terrific. But he's going to give you a full 4 quarters, and I think at this point in the game, he knows there's even more yards.
Washington, 6. Touchdown Dolphins. Another touchdown pass for Tua. Let's go. Definitely ending the season on a high note with this one. It's 4th and 10. course, they're going for it. It's 4-down territory for the Jets.
The offense staying
They're going to
out
stop on
there
D.
for this 4th down.
And it's picked by Jalen Ramsey. Let's go. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Great job.
So they move inside the 20, 1st and 10 at the 18.
Nowhere to go on that.
Cooking on that one. He'll be met and tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Probably just going to really be running the ball at this point. We're just trying to ice the game. It's over.
13. Now a give to Achane, heading right.
All right, decent gain. Gained 5 yards back.
5 yards. That sets up 3rd down.
All right, 2-minute warning. Up 35-7 in our final regular season game. We've exploded on offense in this game, and really putting the Jets in a chokehold.
They'll stay on the ground with Achane.
And Achane, it's 4th down. I'm just going to go ahead and coach wants us to go for it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be polite, and I'm just going to kick a field goal.
So on 4th down, the Dolphins turn to Jason Sanders with a field goal throw.
I'm going to let the clock wind down. You know, there is such thing as sportsmanship, and I'm just going to kick the field goal. I'm not going to go for a touchdown. You know, I'm not going to go for a first down and make it even worse. Just going to kick the field goal. And that's the end of the game. We went 38-7 to close out the regular season. Probably our best win of the season, no question about it. I mean, obviously, me at the controls probably helped. But at the same time, hey, Tua had a big game. Tyreek Hill had a monster game. Achane had a big game on the ground for us overall. And, you know, defense got some stops for us early when the Jets were threatening, and it was still close. But, yeah, this is definitely a great way to end the year. So, you know, we finished the season in pretty disappointing fashion, though. I mean, we had a big losing streak towards the back half of the season. We only won, I think, 2 games during the back half of our schedule. But hopefully going into next year, we can reverse that trend. We finished the season 6-11. I don't know if we're 3rd or last in our division, but I'm going to see after we get to this screen. I want to see how the playoffs are looking now. So, yeah, we finished the year 6-11, and we actually, unfortunately, did finish last place in the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills, surprisingly, had a bad season, 7-10. They didn't make the playoffs. The Patriots did, even though they finished 8-9. The Jets won the division, so this is a division where it looks like for the first year it still could be pretty competitive. And who knows how much longer Aaron Rodgers is going to play. I don't know how much longer he's going to play. And, you know, Josh Allen is still a good quarterback, but the fact that Bills went 7-10 when they have a quarterback as good as him is a bit surprising. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised that they went 7-10, but that's the way it unfolds. Playoff bracket for year 1. We got the Chiefs against the Patriots. We got the Texans taking on the Chargers, the Jets against the Ravens. So the playoff picture stayed the same, even though we beat the Jets. So the game ultimately ended up being meaningless. Didn't mean too much. And the Steelers had the number 1 seed. NFC, we got the 49ers against the Eagles, Commanders against the Vikings, Falcons against the Lions, and we've got the Packers with the bye week having the number 1 seed. So let's go ahead and take a look, see what happens in the playoffs. And we'll see if we have any Dolphins make the Pro Bowl and kind of put a bow on year 1 and then get to the offseason. Hopefully we can start making some negotiations now. Based on the salary cap issue we have. All right. So let's check out the playoff bracket. Let's see what happened. So the Chiefs beat the Patriots. The Chargers went on the road to beat the Houston Texans by 35 points. How about that? And the Jets lost to the Ravens at home by 10, 41-31. The Ravens get their revenge on the Chiefs, winning 35-21 from last year's playoff loss. And the Steelers take care of business against the Chargers. So it was the Steelers against the Ravens, and the Ravens pulled off another upset. So the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl to face the Packers. And the Packers got there because the Eagles beat the 49ers on the road. The Commanders beat the Vikings. The Falcons beat the Lions. And so we had Washington falling to Atlanta, and then we had the Packers beating the Eagles. And so it was the NFC Championship game between the Packers and the Falcons. And the Packers came out on top only by 2 points. So it was a close game. And the Packers and Ravens are meeting in this year's Super Bowl. So that is what things are looking like for this year for the Super Bowl. Let's check out the Pro Bowl roster. Let's see if any of our Dolphins made it. Our fullback, Alec Ingold, made the Pro Bowl. That's a little bit surprising. Tyreek Hill made it. Looks like on defense, we did not have anybody make it this year. Yep, just had Tyreek Hill and our fullback, Alec Ingold. That's the only Pro Bowlers we had this season. All right. Let's go ahead and get ready for Super Bowl week. Let's see who wins the awards. All right, so let's check out the yearly awards and see what things are looking like. Mahomes is the MVP. The Coach of the Year is Matt LaFleur of the Packers. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Mahomes. No Dolphins. Defensive Player of the Year. No Dolphins there either. Offensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC. Malik Washington came in 8th, so not bad. So he's a rookie. He's not a veteran. Okay, so that's good. He'll be around for a little while. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Chop Robinson getting some little accolades there. He finished 8th in the running for that. Best QB, no Tua in the top 10. Best running back, Achane finished 6th. Best wide receiver, Tyreek Hill finished 7th there. Best offensive lineman, somebody did. Aaron Brewer, he finished 9th. Best defensive lineman, no Dolphins there. Best linebacker, nobody. Best DB, Kendall Fuller, 6th. No sign of Jalen Ramsey. Best kicker, nope. All right, so none of the Dolphins really in contention for any awards. So we're going to go ahead and see who wins the Super Bowl between the Packers and the Ravens, and then we'll wrap up year 1. All right, so let's see who wins the Super Bowl. It was the Ravens winning their 3rd World Championship, taking down the Green Bay Packers 24-17. The MVP, of course, was Lamar Jackson. The MVP this year overall was Mahomes. Mahomes also won Offensive Player of the Year. The Defensive Player of the Year overall was Levante David of the Buccaneers. A little surprise there. Malachi Corley of the Jets was the Offensive Rookie of the Year. A receiver and Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Braden Fisk of the Rams. So that is that for the 2024 season. Let's take a look at retirements, see who all retired, anybody I might recognize. Let's actually specifically go to our division first, the AFC East. And, yep, Aaron Rodgers. Wow, Aaron Rodgers did retire. So, one playoff game with the Jets, and he retires. So the Jets are going to be probably going into a rebuild mode because they're losing some players as well. Of course, we've had some guys retire. Dave Andrews retired to the Patriots. Let's go to our team list and see who we all retired. We had quite a few. Brian Hoyer retired. I'm not surprised about that. He played for 16 years. Schofield retired. Riley Reif retired. These are all guys that we signed in free agency as stopgap guys. I'm not surprised. Calais Campbell retired. I'm not surprised. And McQuaid retired after 14 years. Nobody significant, though, that we have to replace, although Riley Reif did start for us this year at right tackle. But we've got our regular starting right tackle coming back next season, and we could look to do some upgrades in the draft or free agency. So, looking forward to the future. Right now, let's take a look at mock draft 4 and see right now where the Dolphins are projected to pick. We're projected to have the 9th pick and take a defensive tackle right now, Mason Graham. Of course, this will change as free agency comes to be. Right now, they have 2 quarterbacks projected to go, number 1 and number 2. Quinn Ewers to the Browns and Carson Beck to the Giants. So that's the way things are looking like for the draft prospects. We could use a defensive tackle because we only have like 2 on the roster, and one of them I signed in free agency. Don't expect him to bring him back right now because of the salary cap. But let's go ahead and advance next week and get into the full off season. This is going to be our last chance we can negotiate with players. Did we have so we're no longer in the negative, but we really do not have a whole lot of cap space. So I want to see now if we have the ability to restructure contracts because we've got to free up some room. We've got to free up some room. Well, unfortunately, we can't do anything with Tyreek Hill. Can't restructure his deal. What about Armstead? Can we restructure his deal yet? We can. All right. So that'll free up $6.55 million for this year. So that's good. So Armstead's contract has been restructured, which helps us out a lot. What about Ramsey? Can we restructure his deal at all? Nope. I'm going to keep going down the list because I want to see how many guys we can restructure contracts with and free up any kind of room. Well, Waddle, we can't do anything with him either, which is unfortunate. What about Fuller? Nope. Achan. We can restructure his deal. It won't free up a lot, but it'll free up a little bit of cap space. Let me see. Let's just keep going. Holland is a free agent. Tua, can we restructure his deal? Nope. Wow. Okay. 82 overall quarterback. We can't restructure his deal. Okay. What about Phillips? Nope. I mean, he's on IR, so we can't really do anything with that, I would assume. About Brooks. We can restructure his deal. It'll free up $1.01 million. That's not a whole lot, but it'll help a little bit. Armstead was a big help with freeing some stuff up there. Oh, we can restructure Bradley Chubb's contract. That'll free up, $12.2 million. Oh, that's big. That's a big plus. That helps out a lot. Chop is a rookie, so I can't probably restructure his deal unless I can. No, I can't do it. He's a rookie. I mean, he's on his rookie deal, so we still have, several years to go with him. Chop Robinson. I think most of these guys are free agents. Can't really restructure any deals here. Malik Washington. Nope, can't restructure him. Okay. Well, that freed up a little bit more cap space, so that way we can maybe retain some guys now. Because this, of course, is our last chance to negotiate with any players. We now have $26 million to work with. The re-sign interest is up with a lot of these guys. Javon Holland is the only guy in the 80s right now. Poyer had a bit of a down year, and that's probably because he's getting up there in age. So I don't want to invest in him long term, but Holland, maybe. So he doesn't want to come back. Let's go ahead and franchise tag him. We're now down to $12 million. We franchise tag Holland. Kohu is our third best corner, but we still have Kendall Fuller and we have Jalen Ramsey, so I'm okay with letting him go. Dodson had some pretty good standout moments, but 77 overall, I don't think it's really worth bringing him back. A lot of these guys, all these guys are really backups, although Wynn is a starter at left guard. We can probably upgrade that position. Jeff Wilson's a backup. Yeah, I think the rest of these guys can go. Will Ezukama come back on a team-friendly deal? No, he won't. Okay, so we're going to let him walk. All right, so that's it. We're just bringing back Holland, 84 overall free safety as far as the last chance to negotiate. Let's go ahead and advance to the offseason, and let's get going with free agency. We don't have a whole lot of money to spend, probably. Let's see. So how much can we spend in free agency? We only have $12.1 million, so we don't have a lot of money. Maybe we can restructure some more deals. the contract we just gave to Holland, maybe we can restructure that deal. We can't. Okay, well, that is what it is, I guess. Can we restructure Tyreek Hill's deal possibly now because we're in the off season? No, we can't even do that. What about guys that were kind of, what about Ramsey now? Can we restructure him? No, I guess we can't. Okay. So, what was the other guy? Phillips. He was on IR, so we can't do anything with him still. Okay. All right. Okay then. All right. Well, let's get into the roster. Let's see what positions we need to upgrade either via free agency or the draft. We may have to rely heavily on the draft in this first off season because of the limited cap space that we have. Okay, running back wise, I think Achane going with him again is solid. Now I'm probably going to draft a running back, but Achane at 83 is not that bad. Jalen Wright is not bad at his 74 as a backup. Mostert has actually dipped a little bit. Can we actually get rid of him and save money? It'll incur a penalty. Okay, well, let's try to actually trade him away because I don't really feel a need to keep him. Somebody need like a backup running back, and I'm just looking for some kind of draft pick, and that's really about it. You know, the Cowboys probably need a running back. I just need a draft pick. What about a 5th rounder for this year? This trade will put the other team over the salary cap. Okay, so we can't do anything with the Cowboys. Forgot I got to look at the cap space too. Who has a lot of room? The Giants have a lot of room. Draft picks. Okay, well they give us maybe one of their 5th round picks for him. All right, perfect. Got rid of one of our running backs. I don't know how much this helps with the cap. We may have lost some money, but let's see. Well, we got $14 million now to work with in free agency, so that helped out a little. And Mostert, he's pretty much been, he's now become like our 3rd stringer. So, Achane is the man, and that's what I think we got to go with. Our fullback, of course, made the Pro Bowl last year somehow, even though he's 74. So keeping him. Waddle, like I said, if there's another good receiver in the draft, they can go with Malik Washington, even though he had a pretty decent season. I think that would be pretty good. Tight end wise, Jonas Smith actually is still here. Okay, I thought his contract was up, but no, he's still here. Although we could use more tight end help. 92, we have no left guard, so we got to get one in free agency, even if he's not a full starter. And we got to get another right guard, at least one more. All right, so left guard and right guard, right end, at least one more defensive tackle in free agency. And we need a strong safety as well. Okay, but let's see who's out there, if there's anybody worth, going hard after who fits our scheme. But we're going to stick to, the offensive line that we really need. All right, we have no left guards on the team. So Isaiah Wynn, of course, is the guy that we let go. And is there a scheme fit guy here? Matt Hennessy, 71 overall. I know that's a little bit of a lower deal. But let's go ahead and make an offer put out there for him. He's got no other offers. So this should be able to be a deal that we get. We're going to have to get, a little bit cheaper here. And Tristan Colin. He's also a 71. He's only 27. I'm going with a team-friendly deal. These are really stopgap guys because, like I said, we don't have any left or right guards on the roster. I could go after, the big guys like Hernandez, but, we just don't have the funds for that. I need to probably get another, right end. We don't have a right end on the roster at all. Hassan Reddick is there, and so are some of these guys. Farrell, we go with a team-friendly deal for 1 year. We don't have enough cap space, of course. We only have $7.54 million. Okay, so if we want to get any defensive ends, we're going to have to go cheaper. Boogie Basham Jr. We can afford him. Nobody else is putting an offer for him, so I think we'll be able to land him. And we just need another, defensive end. Plus, he's got an awesome name. So what other positions do we not have any players at all? That's what I want to look at. because I don't want to go into the draft with having no players at positions. Okay, so we've put in offers for a left guard and a right guard and a right end. Corners, we do need to find a starter at strong safety, though. We got a kicker, and we still have our punter. So our special teams are okay. So I think every other position we're just going to have to acquire through the draft, because free agency for us is going to be pretty barren. I think this is the best that we're going to be able to do in free agency based on the limited cap space that we have. So these are our targets. Boogie Basham Jr., right end, right guard, Tristan Colon, left guard, Matt Hennessy. All these offers are cheap, one-year deals, and all these guys are 27 years old, so they're still fairly young. And, these are just guys that we're bringing in to be role players for us, pretty much. So hopefully we can draft a starter at one of these positions in the draft. But we will see. Let's take a look and see if we got any of our free agents to sign. So we did get Tristan Colon to sign. We got a new right guard. Basham and Hennessy are still considering our deals. Basham is getting interest from the Bears, but I don't know, but we'll see. Hopefully we're still able to get him, because we do need a right end in terms of help. So let's go ahead and advance to stage 3. If we don't get Basham, we can still go after somebody else. That's another cheap defensive right end. And we signed Tristan Colon and Hennessy, and it looks like that. Do we lose out on Basham? Yeah, Basham went to the Bears, so we lost out on him. All right, so let's go to right ends who are still available. We have actually $23 million still to work with. Klein Farrell. We actually have the funds, but the Bears are still in front of us. Okay, well, you know what? Let's actually increase this. Let's go with a player. Let's go with a neutral deal. We still have enough money to make that offer, and it puts us in front. And we actually gain, some more money. I don't know really how that worked. Okay, well, you know what? If that's the case, let me go out and get another defensive tackle, so we at least have 2 on the roster. Who's interested? Who also fits the scheme? Solomon Thomas, maybe. Solomon Thomas looks like the other best option. Let's go with a team-friendly deal for him for 1 year. Let's bring him on. Okay, so we're actually able to target a few more players than I thought. So these are our targets. We're going after Klein Farrell Jr. after all. I initially put in an offer for him, but we weren't able to get him. We did get the 2 guards that I wanted to go after, a right guard and a left guard, and Hennessy and Colon. And so we got Farrell, and we got an offer into Solomon Thomas, a cheaper deal for Thomas, but a more fair deal for Farrell. I think that maybe, well, we still have, a little, $10.5 million to work with. So, let's see. There's not much left because we're in the third wave of free agency, which means all the top tier players are gone. So we're kind of just left picking what we can get. Are there any tight ends who are better than Jonnu Smith available? There aren't any better. We could use another right tackle as a backup guy. Lamb was one of our guys. Parker, we got Braden Daniels. I believe he was on the team. We'll just go with what we already have. What about a strong safety? We got Holland back. Poyer is still out here. Nobody's picked him up yet. I'm a bit surprised. Jimmy Ward is, he's not really interested. He's not interested in coming here. We'd have to offer him a lot. Xavier Woods was the top guy. He went to the Jets. Let's see if we can bring Poyer back. It's a team-friendly deal. No, he's not going to take that. The Broncos are also asking for him. What about the neutral deal? We have just enough to offer that. Well, we're right up there with the Dolphins. Okay, the Broncos. Well, if we get him, we get him. If we don't, we don't. trying to bring him back for one more last ride. So we're going after Poyer, we're going after Farrell, and we're going after Solomon Thomas for the last bit of free agency in the third wave. I wanted to bring back Poyer to an extent, but we were in cap hell, so we couldn't do anything. We got Poyer to come back. I still am looking to draft a strong safety, but Poyer I feel like can be that mentor. He's only here for 1 year anyway. We got Farrell, we got Cologne, we got Hennessy, and we got Solomon Thomas. So we didn't really get anybody who was a big splash free agent, but we've got some guys that we're looking at as sort of fill-in guys and guys that we just need to replace at certain positions. Hennessy, is starter material, but these are stopgap guys. I mean, they really are. And Farrell could be our starter for this year. Solomon Thomas is looking like a starter for us. But through the draft, I think is where we're really going to be able to get the talent that we're looking for to give some upgrades to this roster. Didn't really do too much with other positions. Strong safety, I think, is still a position we need to look at in the draft because Poyer to 77 is decent, but bringing him back is not anything too fancy, so to speak. All right, so let me take a look now at the mock drafts. Let me see. Let's go to mock draft number 5 now. What do they have us projected to do this time? So we still have the 9th pick. They're still projecting us to take a defensive tackle. This one is Deontay Walker from Kentucky. Well, we could use a starting defensive tackle for sure. There's probably a decent, strong safety that we could pick later. So I think if Walker's available at defensive tackle, that may be the best way to go. We can get a possible new starter on the defensive line, and that would be a big boost for us. So let's get ready for the draft. We do need some depth, though, so maybe we can grab a little bit of depth in the draft, but we'll see.
Every career starts as a dream.
All right, so here we go. We're on the clock with the pick. So here we go. On the clock with the 9th pick. Where's Walker, the defensive tackle? Deontay Walker is still available, but Graham is projected to go higher, but we're going with Walker. Good pick. Okay, so that's our first round pick. Deontay Walker, defensive tackle. Welcome to the Dolphins. Hopefully we drafted a starter there. That's what I'm hoping for. Quinshon Judkins is still on the board. Wow, okay. I'm going for it. That's a steal. That is a steal. Seriously. Excellent pick. Wow. I can't believe he was still on the board in the second round. That may be our new starter at running back now, to be honest. I'm really surprised he was still there. There's another quarterback there. We need a new starter at left guard. So let's go with Joshua Gray from Oregon State. So far, the draft is really looking good. It's an average pick, though, but still, C+ is not that bad for third. For now, this 5th round pick we got from the trade of Mostert. What about strong safeties? What are strong safeties looking like in terms of ratings? Walker is probably going to be available later, so I'm going to go with this corner, Jordan Alarcon, because we needed depth at corner. Average pick, okay, well, that's what it is. All right, let's see if that strong safety is still on the board. Wohler, excuse me. He's still there. It's maybe a risk, but I'm going to go with him. We need a strong safety. Hunter Wohler, Average pick, C-. I'm not too fazed by that. I just don't know if he'll be available later. What about more offensive linemen? This guy, Josh Fryer, doesn't look too bad. Maybe a reach. I'm going to go with him. Average pick, C+. Okay. Now in the 7th round. We got some wide receivers that are still on the board. Some corners. Could use a backup quarterback. So let's go with DJ Ongale. Says bad pick, but that's a risk. It was, but, you know, we need a backup quarterback. There are more offensive linemen that are decent. This guy, Jalen Rivers from Miami. Hometown kid. Let's go with him. It says bad pick, but, you know. Bit of a mixed bag. But Quinshon Judkins, that was a steal in the 2nd round. I am shocked that he was still available. So here's our first draft for the Dolphins. We took Deontay Walker. That's what the board projected us to do. We made him our ninth overall pick, first rounder. 75 overall, probably got an instant starter there. Judkins is a 79 starting out. He's not rated as highly as Achane, but over a couple years, he could take over as the starter. Joshua Gray, we drafted at left guard, looking like he's not going to be an instant starter, but hopefully that'll be better in the future. Jordan Olakun, a corner in the 5th round. Our other 5th rounder was Hunter Woolher, a strong safety. We needed a strong safety. Josh Fryer, right guard. The 5th round, we did take a flyer and took a DJ Olongale. He's coming in as a 59 overall, which is not very good. And we also took Jalen Rivers, a left tackle, who's 62. We didn't take a whole lot of defensive guys. We only drafted 3 defensive players. So we still have some gaps that we have to fill in terms of just this roster because we don't have a whole lot of depth in positions that I was, hoping for, so to speak. So Olongale, I know he wore 4 at Florida State in his final year, so he's going to wear that number. That's okay. Judkins, and we can probably just keep him wearing 33. I don't think that's actually. You know what? Do we have any? Well, Jalen Ramsey wears number 5, so I don't think I want to necessarily do that. We'll keep Judkins wearing 33 for his rookie season. Receiver-wise, we didn't draft any receivers, so we still have the same receiving core. We still have the same tight end group. 74, 71. Let's see what Joshua Gray. Joshua Gray. 67. Okay, so he has his number. Got a 71, 76 center, 70 right guard. Of course, we drafted Josh Fryer. What's he looking like? He wears number 70 for Ohio State. So he's already wearing 70. Right tackle is a 75. Do we have another left tackle? No, we don't. Jalen Rivers, so that's another guy we drafted. Jalen Rivers, Miami, 64. Okay, well, that's the correct number anyway. All right. So we need to go out and get a backup right tackle before the season begins. We'll probably have some extra money. Defensive ends, we only have one of them. We got 3 defensive tackles, Travis Bell, Solomon Thomas. Now, Deion Walker actually is an instant starter already. Deontay Walker, who played at Kentucky. He wears number 0 at Kentucky. Can I give him 0? I don't know if I can, but let's see if I can do it. Number 0 on a big guy. Yep. So our rookie, first round pick, is going to wear number 0, his college number. Phillips is going to come back off the injury, so that makes me a little bit excited. You got 80, you got 82. Our linebackers are good. Our defensive line needs work. Cornerbacks are still looking okay. We did draft this guy Jordan Oladokun from Bowling Green. He wears number 1 over there. But that's Tua's numbers, so he'll wear 31 for this season. Free safety-wise, we got an 83 Holland. We drafted Poyer, Hunter Woolher. Don't know if he is going to be... He wears number 24 at Wisconsin. Okay. Maybe he'll be a starter in the future. I don't know. He's starting out as 69, which is not that bad. Somebody else wearing 24? Yeah, it's Cam Smith. Okay, well, he'll wear 37 this season to start out. You got Josh Thompson as well. But potentially Wohler, if he develops, could be a future starter, but we will see. So not really a whole lot I could do in terms of changing positions. We just need to get some depth at positions so we have things kind of like filled up, if you will. Let's go ahead and advance to next week. And let's get to the preseason, and let's kind of, get this roster, fine-tuned with some random free agents that we need for depth reasons. We need a third-string quarterback, first things first. Let's bring in Jacoby Brissett for that. Let me see what other positions we need to get depth at before we start the season, just so we have like a full roster, because right now we really don't. Left tackle, we're good. Left guard, we're good. Center, we're good. Right guard, we're good. We need a backup right tackle. That's what we need. And we need backup defensive ends. Oh, what am I doing? Let's get, backup right tackle. That's what we need. All right, Tyree Phillips. Well, Kendall Lamb used to be here. We're bringing him back. This time it's a backup, but still. Hubbard somehow is still there. Okay, I'm a little surprised. Bring him in to be a backup defensive end, even though he's kind of been a starter in his career before. Right end, Samson Ebukam is still there. Let's bring him on. Put your team over the salary cap. You must clear money. Okay, well, let's try to do that. Let's see here. Who's some guys maybe we can get rid of? We've got this guy Elijah Dotson. Can we cut him? And won't free up any cap space. Okay, well, still, let's just go ahead and get rid of him. Okay, Warner, will his release free up any space? Free up a little bit. Not much, but a little. Bunch of tight ends. What about Blake Ferguson? Can we get rid of him? 1.7. All right, let's get rid of him. Okay, so that should help so we can get that defensive end that we wanted. Really stuck with the cap, so I still got to clear money. Oh boy. Okay. This is definitely, tough to work with. But then again, we'll probably, see some guys leave or retire, and we'll be able to keep trimming the roster, trim the fat, as you say, as some may say. I don't know. Connor, this guy, brief a little bit. So now we're down to 3 tight ends, which is okay with me. Doesn't really make a big difference. Let's see if we can get that defensive end now. Wow, we still got to clear more money? Goodness. All right, well, let's keep doing it. Hopefully there's somebody else we can get rid of that won't put us in the penalty. All right, we did all the stuff we could with tight ends. Offensive lineman, we're not cutting any offensive linemen because we need depth there. We got Hubbard. Defensive tackles, we got 3, so we're good there. Oh, Grayson Murphy, can we cut him? His won't free up a whole lot. It'll only cure a penalty. So let's restructure his deal. This guy's deal. Let's just Grayson Murphy. Let's restructure his deal. Can we restructure Goose deal? Nope. His release will free up no money, so I'm not going to bother releasing him. What about Kamara? I'll cure a penalty, so I don't want to do that. Got a lot of corners. All right, Shepard. Can we get rid of you? Save money. It'll cost us. It'll save $0. Storm Duck. Wow. All right. Well, Jaden Davis. Cut him. Yeah, let's cut him. All right. Hopefully this will do it. I mean, we restructured a couple of deals of some of the low tier guys, so maybe hopefully this is enough. Hoping against hope, but we'll see. Let's see if we can get Samson now. All right, cool. We finally got our backup defensive end. All right. Well, we don't really need any more backups for other depth. So I think we're good where we are. Let's go ahead and do a final check. The roster before I wrap up this live stream. 3 running backs. We got 5 receivers. We don't have a whole lot. We only have 3 tight ends now. Good on the offensive line in terms of our numbers. Good on the defensive line now with our numbers. 76, 74. We got a 75, 70, 65. Spell. We're good there. We're good there. We're good at corner. We're good at free safety. We're good at strong safety. In terms of our numbers. Okay. Well, this roster isn't really that big. You know, we got 55 players where we could have 75, but we can't afford 75 players because of our cap space. So that's going to wrap up this live stream. I may come back later tonight and keep this going, but I'm not 100% sure about that. You guys know it's my day off, and I get tomorrow off as well, but I typically don't really like to stream on Tuesday. Also, my work schedule is going to be shifting. Not a lot, but at least a little bit. But it's actually shifting back to my old schedule because we're finally starting to fill up our staff. But that's all I'm going to go into in terms of work life. So anyway, thank y'all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.